Well, hello again. Today we're going to be taking a look at this little K703 that a friend of mine brought in. It had been gifted to him, and his first thought was, well, what am I going to do with this little thing? And he found out it's really kind of amusing. There's actually two versions of these amplifiers. They had two different tube complements. I actually have one of these myself that I use at home a little bit, and it's a whopping 2.5 watts. Again, everybody's going, well, why would you use that? Well, let me tell you, if you're sitting in your living room, it's a lot of fun. So we're going to get on with this. It's going to need capacitors, it's going to need tubes. It works, but it's old and tired. It's completely original. Nothing has been touched on it. Taking a quick look at the back here, you'll see we have a volume and a tone control with the on-off switch on the tone control. We have 3 inputs. Look down here, we've got a cute little CTS speaker. And let's see if we can get a look here. This is the more odd version. My amplifier actually has a completely different tube complement in it. This one uses a 36 AM3 for the rectifier, a 60FX5 for the output tube, and an 18GD6A pentode preamp tube. My version actually uses like a 50C5, a 35W4, and I forget the preamp tube, but anyway, entirely different tubes in the same model amp. Okay, let's unbutton it. Okay, we are in. Get this little metal cover off here. It was held on by a couple of these small little screws that look suspiciously like Danelectro screws. Doesn't surprise me. This amplifier was probably made by Danelectro for K. So let's take a look here. This is simplicity at its finest. We have an isolation transformer. Something else about these amplifiers always cracks me up. There's no fuse. We may add one. Now, a lot of you guys are probably thinking, well, yeah, well, he ought to change that 2-conductor cord to a 3. You can't. Some of these chassis actually have voltage on them. So anyway, what we're going to do here, we're going to change his power supply cap. His cord is in really good shape. I am going to shorten it up since it seems to be plenty long. I am going to shorten it up a little bit and redo where it's gone through the strain relief here for 50 years. But I can't get over how well this cord has maintained. It's not hard, it's not cracked, it feels really good. Another testament to old stuff. It's probably been stored in a really good place too. So we're going to change a few resistors, going to change a few power supply resistors. Not a lot to do here. We're going to clean the pots, clean the jacks, clean up his speaker. We're going to unbolt it and clean the dirt out of the front of it, make sure the cone is in good shape and all that. That's a very similar speaker to what's originally in the Champs. Okay, yeah, moving on. Take a look at the schematic. This is what we were talking about earlier, where we have the odd tubes. See, my version is entirely different. Different circuit even on the values, of course, for the different tubes. So if you go to look into one of these, make sure which one you've got. The chassis are not actually interchangeable schematic wise. So, okay, let's get to work. Well, we're almost finished up here. We have replaced the two filter caps here. I used two sprags here, 40 microfarads and 150 volts. By the way, this ear splitting 2.5 watts of power is developed from a 135 volt power supply. So that is a very fresh change from the 500 volt plus amplifiers I'm seeing a lot. Just saying. So we changed the cathode resistor here too for the biasing on the output tube. We changed a few resistors. In fact, right there is all it was changed. 3 capacitors, 3 resistors. The rest of it was some cleanup work and fresh sew tubes. Speaking of the tubes, I want to mention a thank you to Mr. Cross at Vacuum Tubes Inc. I searched around the other night for a couple hours looking for a place to buy all 3 of these odd tubes from. One vendor might have one, another vendor might have another one, another one might be a backorderable item. Mr. Cross had them all in stock, and not only that, but a very reasonable price and very fast shipping. So thanks, appreciate it. Makes my job a little easier on occasion. So we've cleaned the tube sockets, cleaned the jacks, cleaned the pots, added fuse holder. This amplifier draws basically about 140 mils of current flat out of AC current. So we used a 1/4 amp 250 milliamp slow blow fuse. That way, if he does have a short of some sort in here, even before the amplifier is turned on, it may keep him from having a fire. So there we go. We're going to button this little guy up and check it out and send it on its way. So there we have it, all finished up. Took me about an hour and a half to actually do this. Ran into a slight intermittent problem when I thought it was finished with one of the tube sockets. So we got that taken care of. Also have to make a correction. I found another difference in this amplifier between my model and this one. Mine that uses the 50L6 output tube, which is an octal tube, actually delivers about 2.5 watts. This one with the 60XF5 actually only puts out about 1.3 watts. So it's a little lighter. So getting back to what we were talking about earlier, well, what good is something like that? Well, you can irritate house pets, housemates, roommates. Even an amicable neighbor could be slightly offended. But man, I tell you, it's a lot better than a set of headphones and a lot of the little practice amps that I've heard. You got to remember, you're only using 2 tubes here, a pentode preamp tube that only runs on about 30 volts, and a little 1 watt pentode output tube that only runs on 130. So we can't expect a whole lot. But like I say, for sitting around the living room, it's not bad. So, until next time, play nice. I'll see you later.